Welcome to one small lecture between the sixth lecture and the seventh lecture. Actually, in the seventh lecture, we want to talk about this object-oriented programming. However, before that, I want to introduce one tool to you. That tool is called Thonny. Just like VS Code is an IDE or PyCharm is an IDE, similarly, this Thonny is also an IDE, but there is a difference. It is an IDE which is designed specifically for teaching Python. So you can download it from here. It is a free software. https thonny thonny.org, and then here there is version for Windows, Mac or Linux. So you can go for, say for example, Windows, and this will be installer with 64-bit Python, okay, and exe file. So that suits me. So I will click here, and it starts downloading. Now I'm not installing it again because installation is usual. You have to double click it and accept the conditions and click next, and trust, it is very harmless software, and it has been tested by Microsoft and Linux and all Mac and all major players, and it is very widely used. So it is actually developed by a university, so that's why you don't need to worry about it. I have already installed, so installation steps I'm not doing, but then you can start it from your Windows like this. Start menu will open, and here your latest version, Thonny, latest installed software is seen. Click on it, and your software will open. Now it will open something like this, and here there will be nothing initially. A blank script will be there, okay, and this will not be saved also. So you have to paste one script, any script which you want to understand, and you have to save it first. Unless you save it, the next steps which I am showing, they will not work. So please remember that you have to save it anywhere in your computer. Here I have already saved it. So fine. Now I want to understand how this script works. First, let me try to explain as I was explaining. In fact, this is a script already we had discussed this in chapter 2, previous chapter. So this script says that this is a list of numbers, and it has only odd numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and we are asked that check if 7 is there or not without looking at the list. Okay, that means programmatically check. So we wrote this kind of simple program, that we first initialize index to 0, and we initialize a boolean variable found and initialize its value to true, rather false. Found is equal to false, because initially I am just traversing through my list. So I am just at 0th element, or even not even 0th element. I am at present outside my list. So then obviously I have not found anything. So found equals false. And how I will go? My while loop will do one thing. Then it will go on trying each index one by one. So first it will try index 0. Next it will try index 1. So we are traversing through this list. This is the element. Then we will again check if it matches with the target. Does not match. Then we will check this element. If it matches with the target, no, it does not match. Then we will check this element. If it matches with the target, no, it does not match. Then we will check this element, and yes, it is matching with the target. So we say that element 7 or whatever you are finding, that is available at index 3, because indexing starts from 0, 0, 1, 2 and 3. That is simplest Python program. But here I was explaining in this manner, that while index whose initial value is 0 is less than len of this list. Len of this list means the number of elements in the list, and that is 5. So 0 less than 5. And while not found, or while found is equal to false. Okay. So in that case, enter into the loop. So when it is 0 and found is equal to false, then first time I will enter into the loop. Then numbers list its index this much. Okay. So numbers 0 equals target. Compare this. So numbers 0 means 1 equals target 7. So this comparison will be false, and therefore this entire if block will not be executed. So you directly go out. You will just print index. You will just print target, and you will increase your index by 1 because you want to move to next element. Okay. So index is now 1. Found is still false. So while index is less than len number is 5. So 1 is less than 5. So that is true. And not found. Found equals false, or not found equals true. So this is also true. And therefore while loop will be entered. Now if numbers index, so that is numbers 1 equals target 7. No, this if condition is still not obeyed. So this whole block will not be entered. Instead, directly we will print index 1, will print target In fact, printing the target is also not required. It is always 1 only. So I can just remove it. Okay, print index 1 and we will increment the index 2. So that means that time 5 will go here. 5 is still less than this, sorry, index will be incremented to 2. So 2 is still less than len numbers. Okay, so then in that case, and still it is not found. So while loop will be entered, but element at index 2 is 5. So when I check this number index equals target, then that comes out to be still false, and that means this entire f block if block will not be executed. But then I will just print index, and output will be index plus 1. Sorry, that means index is incremented by 1, not output. Sorry. So index is now 3. So in that case, index is 3. This condition is obeyed. Yes, 3 is less than 5. Length of the list is 5. And not found is also correct because found is equal to false. So not found is equal to true. In short, this whole thing is true. And if that is true, then number at the index 3, number is 7, equals target 7. So this time this if condition is obeyed, and that means this time I will enter this and I will set first that boolean flag which was false to true. Okay, and I will print that my target is found at that current value of index. Current value of index is 3, 0, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so this is that simple script. Let me first show you its execution in our Jupyter notebook. I will just add any random one cell and show its execution. So it shows that target found at index 3 and it prints all index for which it was not found. 0 not found, 1 not found, that is this statement, 2 not found. But for 3, third index, the element satisfies this condition. Okay, and therefore this print statement is executed. Now found flag is set to true. So next time an index is incremented, so index will become now 4. But now next time when the control tries to enter this while loop, so at that time index is less than 5, that is still true. 4 is less than 5. Okay, but not found equals true, then that is false now, because found is equal to true means not found equals false. Okay, so then in that case this is not obeyed. So my while loop itself will not be entered. Nothing will be printed. That is why the last index which was printed was only 3. Okay, that is this. And before that, what was printed was this statement: target found at that. Index 4 is never printed. So here nothing is printed for index equals 4 because while loop itself is not entered, in which both print statements are there. Okay, and if I put some random number, say 11 here, and then my target is not present in this case. So in that case, the while loop will execute for all these elements, and still this not found will always remain true. Not found equals true. Okay, so in that case, or found will remain equals false because now my target is not present anywhere in that. So entire while loop will execute 5 for each number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So whole list will be exhausted, and then index will be incremented to this. This is fourth index. It is incremented and it becomes 5. So now this condition will not be obeyed. 5 is less than 5. No, that will not be obeyed. Length of the list is 5. So in that case, this whole while loop will not be executed at all. And of course, at that time, found flag has already been, found flag is false only because the element is not there inside. So then this will come into picture and it will say that target is not found. Okay. So it goes inside for each element: 0th index, first index, second index, third index, fourth index. It checks each element one by one. But 7 is not found anywhere in my list. So it says that target not found. Okay. Now this whole thing, explanation, if I try to explain every small Python script in this manner, then the Python chapters would become so lengthy. So, and you will also become bored after reaching a certain stage. Explanation in so much detail would be actually boring. So after reaching a certain stage, how I will explain this is what this while loop does. Then this while loop tries each element at index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, one by one, and checks if it is less than the length of the list, and checks if element is already found or not. If both conditions are obeyed, then for every element this code block will be executed. If the element is found, if this condition is obeyed, then the found flag is inverted, and in each iteration index is incremented by 1. So we will do 5 iterations of while loop, and if still the element is not found, then we will say that this part will be executed, and we will say that target not found. Only this much explanation. Even this much is too lengthy, but okay, this much is fine, acceptable. But if I try to show every target, every element of this inside, then that would be too difficult and too lengthy and too boring. Okay, so let me now delete this, or let me keep it at present. But how to see this whole flow of control? Then this IDE, which Thonny, which we have downloaded. So I'm now closing this window, and I have opened that Thonny here, and I have pasted that same script. I have saved, and now this run. In this run, I will choose debug control script nicer, or that is control plus F5 shortcut. So something like this will be found. Okay, and nicer means it will explain it in so slow manner as if you are not knowing anything about Python. Okay, so even a 7th standard person can understand the execution of this code. And then again go to that run menu and select this step into. Don't select step over. Step into, or that is F7. Okay, so I'm pressing F7 on my keyboard, and I will just keep on pressing F7. So that will, you can, those who are not compatible with keyboard at all, they can go to this menu and step into each time they will have to select. So I have pressed F7 first time, and it has selected this list. So that means when the script is executed, what comes into existence very first, then this list comes into existence. Then I again press F7. It will show you each element of the list also. Okay, 1, 3, how the list is coming. You can see how slowly it explains everything. So this is how the list is coming into existence. Now whole list has been created. Now what happens? Now that list is assigned to these variable numbers. So this variable is a list type of variable, and Python does not require type declaration. So Python automatically understands that one list has been created and it has been assigned to me. Again I press F7. So now this line comes. I again press F7. So it says that now some number 7 will come into existence. Again F7, and it will say that now that 7 would be assigned to that target variable. Okay. Now again F7, when I press index equals 0, that line becomes yellow. So yellow means now control is on that line, but when I press F7, then what element in that line comes into existence first? So 0 comes into existence, and then F7 means next line. So 0 has been assigned to index. Okay. Then next F7, again false comes into existence, and found variable is assigned value false. Okay. Now then this next F7 will select this whole while loop. Okay. And when I select this, then the condition for entering the while loop, that is becoming blue. So that means now that condition is being tried, and I again press F7 again. So it selects a part of that condition. That means at present we are not interested in that not found. Not found is equal to true unless you find the element in your list. But at the beginning of your script execution, obviously you have not found it. So the only thing which matters to decide whether while loop will enter or not, that is this index is less than length of number. So my index is 0 and length of the list is 5. Number list is 5. So index less than. But it will show you how each element is tried. So it puts first 0, and instead of length of number, it put length of the list. You can see how slowly it explains everything. Then it puts 5, and obviously not found is still not found, and therefore this is true. Not found is also true. Found is false. Found is false, that you can see here, and therefore not found is true. Okay, and while true and true, so everything is true, so loop will be entered. So your control goes inside the loop. Now whatever index was, that will be placed here. So it will show in very nice manner that index, this line comes into picture. Now index, instead of index, 0 will be placed 0. Okay, so entire list will be placed here, and the 0 will be placed. So if the 0th element of this list equals target, but 0th element of the list is actually 1. So it will say if 1 equals target. So target is 7. So this is obviously false. And if it is false, then this part will not be executed. It is just skipped. Okay. So then print index. So it will print just that 0. Okay. Now it increments the index. So now index will become 1. Now it tries again the next index. So there you again you will see that still not found is nothing to be checked about that. But index is less than number. Now my index is 1. Okay. So 1 is less than len of this list. It will even show the list also. So you can immediately see that its length is 5. Okay. So 1 is less than 5. True. And not found, that is also equal to true. Found is false. Yes, found is false. So not found is equal to true. And in that case, both are true. So while loop will be entered. So that means this whole while loop will be entered. And in that case, let us see now it puts next index. So next index was 1 because first was 0 and it was incremented. So this one element. Now one element is this 3 equals target. Target is 7. So 3 equals 7 will evaluate to false. Again, that means that this whole if block, this will not be executed at all. We will just print index and control will go out after incrementing the index by 1. So index is incremented by 1. So index has now become 2. Again while loop, again 2 is less than len of number. I keep on pressing that F7 in between so that each next step is executed. And 2 is less than 5, so that is true. Not found is also true. So that is the reason why while loop will be entered. And numbers index. So that is numbers is that list and its index is 2. So its second element is equals target. So second element of this is 5, equals target is 7. So if condition is still not obeyed, wrong, false, and therefore this if block is still not executed. So that means that found flag was false and it still remains false because this block is not executed. So it is still not found. That is the meaning. Okay. Now print that index. So it will print 2. That was the last index, and it will increment the index by 1. So now it has become 3. Now it tries that 3. So 3 is less than len of numbers. Then yes, it is less than len of numbers list. That is 5. And not found. Then not found is still yes. Found is false. So not found is true. Okay. So both true. Again while loop is entered, and here I am. Now in this time my element is 3, I think. So index is 3, yes. So then I have to find the third element. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. So this time that element is 7 and the target is also 7. So this time this whole will evaluate as true. And that time this if block will be entered for the very first time. As soon as it is entered, this found flag is assigned a true value. Okay, that means not found. This not found will become false. Okay, and this will print that target is found at this index, and then print index. Below, if you see, I don't know, yeah, below that index and everything, they are also visible, and what is the output that will be printed. So now this time target found at index 3, that is printed. So now this print statement is in index. Now I am out of if block, so this statement will be printed. So that means index will be printed, and therefore what will be printed? Print 3. So you can see here below in the lower part that 3 is printed. Okay, so output is also shown, and how control goes from one element to another, how while loop is executed, everything is shown. Index is incremented by 1, and then index was 3 and now it has become 4. For 4 is still less than len of number, but that not found is now found is equal to true, so not found is now false. So not true, and that means that it is false. So entire while loop will be skipped, nothing will be executed, and you go to next element. Okay, so no, sorry, I think okay, yeah, while loop will not be entered. So true and false means while false, so then target not found. Okay, so yeah, my script has gone out because thereafter my index has exceeded the last value. So my last index was 3, and thereafter further index were not tried because this has become already false. So this is what this program shows. Now if I want to see everything in quick manner, then I will just click this green button or run the current script, or here also it is F5, run the current script. So then in that case I will show that whole program executes very quickly, just like a Jupyter notebook says. Okay, so this is a useful tool for those who are struggling when I describe that control flows from here to here and all that. Then please download that tool and try to execute that block of code in Thonny. Okay, this will help you a lot. And I don't think that if I do this way for one small script if I take around 20 minutes, then when will I finish my entire Python? You will not require to do that for all the scripts. Initially, for each different type of loop or each different type of programming technique, you have to see it once. Once you see it, then thereafter you will yourself say that I don't want to do step by step. I just want to press this green. But that green pressing, that is already available inside. This has one more feature, which also I should show, that in this run, there is this option, visualize current script at Python Tutor. Now that Python Tutor is a website, free website, and there you can visualize how this code is executed. So I click it. Internet must be on. So as I click it, I am going to that website, and this is that same script here. Okay, I just have to click. Currently, this red arrow is here, means I am on the first line. Okay, and I just have to click next. So as soon as I click next, that means that list has come into existence. You can see how clear the visualization is there, and the index are written at the top 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine, and this is a global frame, so even the scope and namespace that is also shown. I again click next. So now my target, which is an integer variable, that has come into existence. Control is at red colored arrow. Index, now index has come into existence. Now that boolean variable found has come into existence. Okay, now that while loop. So while loop executes, I am entering in, and the condition is not satisfied. So print directly index. Here the print output is seen. Increment the index by 1. Next while loop. Again the condition of entering if block is not satisfied. So directly print the index. So now next printed index is seen. Then again go. Now index is 2 and again do it. Still the condition is not satisfied. So 2 is printed, incremented to 3 now. So for 3 also the condition for entering while loop is satisfied, but if is not satisfied. No, if condition will be satisfied because the index at 3 is 7th element. So this equality in the if block that will be satisfied and therefore found will become true. You can see still the control has reached there, but I have not clicked next. So currently my found is false, but now you see now that found has become true. Okay, and then printing target is found at, so this print statement executed, then print index. So index is now incremented back to 4. Okay, at present this index 3 is there, index is incremented to 4. Now this while loop will not be entered now because not found, that condition is not obeyed. So and even this will not execute because this executes only if not found, but not found is equal to true, means not found is equal to false. So this condition will also not be, so even this target not found will also not be printed, and your script has ended. How detailed is this? Now please make full use of this tool and learn Python in a manner where you can imagine the control flow very clearly. Okay, those who are already coming from programming background and those who are already proficient in these things, they can avoid this whole discussion and they will please pardon me. But those who are completely fresh to programming, they should use these tools at least for initial 10-12 scripts. Then you will yourself later on feel that it is not required. And when you use this tool, use both of these features. Both features means what I am saying is, you earlier I showed this feature that run, then debug nice version, and then again go to run and step into, okay, that feature. So use that feature and thereafter keep on pressing the F7. Okay, so F7. If you keep on pressing, it will show how your script is executing. Use that also, and when you are done, you just stop it and close your Thonny. But use this website also. From its run menu, you can get this a link that visualize this code on Python tutor. So then click that and you can actually visualize how namespace are coming into existence, how various variables are coming into existence, how variable changes from false to true, or how index is incremented 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, what results are printed. Everything is visible. Okay, so please make full use of this tool.